Yes, hello everyone. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from. Welcome to the 142nd episode of Free International Webinar on Developing Resilience, brought to you by the Institute of Global Professionals, or IGP. And we are coming to you live via StreamYard on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for joining us for tonight's session or today's session. My name is Gafor M. Panimbang, an assistant professor from Adjung Memorial Polytechnic State College here in Mindanao, Philippines. And it is my privilege to be your host for tonight's or today's session. But before we go any further, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the Institute of Global Professionals on the occasion of its first year anniversary. Alright, let's all give it a round of applause. It has been a wonderful journey altogether, and let's hope for the best in the coming years. But behind every successful organization lies a couple of people who actually contributed to the attainment of that success. First off, allow me to mention our IG staff. Our IG staff. You guys deserve a big round of applause for all your hard works and unconditional dedication. Congratulations to you for being a part of this journey. Alright? And also to all of our partners out there, you are not just our partners. You are the assets that we value most. Thank you for being part of us. And of course, our live audience. On this special event of our anniversary, we want you guys to know that your trust and support has always been the biggest drivers for our continued growth. You have always been an integral part of our journey. Because without you, this journey would never have been so epic. So please accept our deepest appreciation for that matter. And finally, I would like to mention a specific person here. He is with us tonight, who without him, this success would not have been possible if IGP didn't have someone like him leading us from the front. Congratulations to the founder of IGP, Sir Kaushik Dara. Sir, thank you for being the strongest pillar of IGP and for everything that you have done and sacrificed for the organization. It has been our pleasure to work with you. The success that you have achieved is an inspiration for all of us here, and we hope to spend many more anniversaries with you. Our heartiest wishes to you on IGP anniversary celebration. Again, congratulations. Alright? And for those who don't know yet, the Institute of Global Professionals, or IGP, is an ISO certified training institute and a globally recognized multi-awarded international professional organization that provides free online and offline learning platforms for education and skills training for students and professionals alike, backed by international speakers and coaches from all over the world. It is a non-profit training institute dedicated to making it possible for anyone to learn anything and anywhere for free online at any subject level. True to its mantra, feed your skill, it is IGP's mission to empower people by providing an overall learning experience that meets their needs and helps them to achieve life goals. We believe that free education, more than anything, has the power to break through boundaries and transform lives. But before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, Allow me to go over a few items so you know how you participate in today's or tonight's event. You will have the opportunity to submit text questions to our speakers related to the content of today's or tonight's webinar. Our speakers will be answering questions through chat and only through chat. So better yet, type them in the chat box below. You may send in your text questions at any time during the presentation. We will collect those questions and hold them for the Q&A session at the end of tonight's or today's event. Your questions will be displayed on the screen and I will be reading them out loud for the speakers to respond. We will get through as many questions as time permits. And if you would like a specific speaker to answer your question, please indicate the speaker's name, then the question. Alright? Throughout the presentation, you will see a couple of questions pop up on your screen that would allow you to engage with us while the presentation is going on. And we appreciate you guys answering those questions coming in. Today's or tonight's session is being recorded to be available for viewing post-conference on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. That's Institute of Global Professionals. We are using our FB page and our YouTube account to store webinar recordings and make them available for public viewing. After this session, we will be posting this recorded webinar on our YouTube channel for you to watch a replay in case you want to review anything. And we welcome you to revisit the content yourself and share it with your colleagues. Alright? And it would also be greatly appreciated if you could hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell for you to get notified every time we upload a new webinar video every day. Yes, you heard it right. It's every day. If you stay till the end of this webinar, you will get a link to download your ISO certified e-certificate free of charge, courtesy of the Institute of Global Professionals. The link will be provided as pinned post down in the comment section below shortly before the webinar ends. And if for some reason you were unable to download your e-certificate after this webinar due to huge volume of internet traffic, you can have it downloaded probably tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, the list. Further details on the certification process will be shared to you at the end of this event. And we are also excited to invite everyone to be part of our exciting and interactive online quiz game competition happening after the speaker's presentation. And if you wish to join with the quiz game competition as player, just go to slido.com using your own device and browser. And once you get there, you will see a window asking you to type in the event code. Just simply type in the event code and press enter, and pretty much you're good to go. The event code will be posted on the screen just before the competition begins. So please do hang out for that. Lucky top 10 players who would have the most correct answers and fastest response time will receive a quiz completion certificate, again courtesy of the Institute of Global Professionals. And hey guys, if you think what we are doing here resonates you, please show us your support by sharing this webinar to your social media communities. Keep on inviting your friends by tagging their names down in the comment section below. And we also invite you to leave us a comment, share us your thoughts, and give us thumbs up. All right? And if you have not yet joined the IGP, please consider joining in. Why? Because it's free and IGP offers many benefits to you guys. And if you're interested in becoming a member of IGP, please feel free to reach out directly using our website at www.eduigp.com, and we will be happy to welcome you aboard and be part of our growing international professional community. The worldwide outbreak of the COVID-19 is a source of unexpected stress and adversity for many people. But what can we do to build up and strengthen resilience right now during the COVID-19 pandemic? And how can we build resilience to plan ahead for future times of crisis? What resilience during this pandemic really means? Ladies and gentlemen, these are the issues that we're going to cover for tonight's or today's session on Developing Resilience webinar. And we are so fortunate to have a wide range of speakers from all over the world tonight. So without further ado, I would now like to welcome our speakers for tonight's or today's event, starting off with Dr. Randy Ward from the United States of America, Rashmi Saha all the way from India, and we've got Beatrice Yusufo from Nigeria. We're so glad they could be here tonight or today to share the insights or thoughts on the topic developing resilience. All right, so we will now turn the time over to our first speaker. Allow me to pull up her short biography, all right, to highlight some of her accomplishments. Here we go. Our first speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is a multi-award winner, a visionary leader, a visionary book coach, and master editor. She's a 37 years of age or 37-year veteran language arts educator from the Georgia, USA, and Egypt. She's an author, a YouTuber, and holistic emotional intelligence and harmony life coach. She's also a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner and communication or certified communication master. She's an international motivational speaker and was featured on numerous radio, podcast, and video interviews. A world traveler of 60 countries. She's also an African animal advocate or humanitarian, a former owner of Rise Up, Queen of Peace, Luwani Global Leader, and Global Change Maker. So ladies and gentlemen, we are thrilled to have Dr. Randy Ward joining us as our first speaker for tonight's session.
Hello and good morning from the United States. It's 8:16 a.m. here. I know we're all over the world today.
I see.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, it's our pleasure having you here. We're so delighted to have you here actually.
Thank you so much.
All right, we can get straight to the content.
So let's get started. Yes, we're talking
Yes.
about resilience and developing resilience today. But we need to know first, what do we mean by resilience? Resilience refers to how well you can deal with and bounce back from the difficulties of life. And right now, we know we have a lot of difficulties of life. The COVID has created many more problems for people around the world. People are struggling to feed their families. They're losing their homes. Many horrible things. People are dying, getting sick. Many awful things are happening. So building resilience, especially now, is even more important since 2020, when COVID-19 hit our world and tried to destroy it, and is still working on that. It can also mean the difference between handling pressure and losing your cool. You know, many times we get very stressed out and we don't know what to do and we lose our cool and things become even worse. But resilient people tend to maintain a more positive outlook and cope with stress more effectively than those that do not have resilience. Research has shown that while some people seem to come by resilience naturally, these behaviors can also be learned. Whether you're going through a tough time now or you want to be prepared for the next tough time in your life, there are some techniques that you can focus on in order to foster your own resilience. And believe me, I'm going to share some experiences in my life, physically, emotionally, that I've had to deal with and find my resilience to get through them. The first thing I want to talk about is to find your sense of purpose. In the face of a crisis or tragedy or a major problem in your life, finding a sense of purpose can play an important role in your recovery. This might mean becoming involved in your community in some way, just simply cultivating your spirituality, or participating in activities that are meaningful to you. I'm going to start back when I was a young girl, 15 to be exact, and I had my first horrible experience in life where I had to become resilient physically. When I was 15, I had an injury in my physical education class with my left knee. That seems like it would not be a major problem, but it was for me. My kneecap would continually go out of place, which prevented me from walking not just 1 year, but 2 years, 3 years, but 4 years. I was on crutches, not able to focus on walking, not able to. Many times I was bedridden because my knee would go out of place with no reason at all, just pop out of place. So when I was 19, I had a surgery to try to replace, to remove a tendon and transplant it so that my kneecap would not go out of place. Well, sadly, people, the surgeon kind of botched the surgery and I was paralyzed from the knee down because he pinched a nerve in my leg. So it took me another 6 months to get the feeling back on my leg. The doctors at this point said, Randy, you probably will never walk normally again. Well, you don't tell a 19-year-old she's not going to walk again, especially Dr. Randy DeWard. So for the next 6 months, I taught myself how to walk. This is my sense of purpose, of course, was learning to walk again. And I found every way I could, physically, emotionally, mentally, to force myself to walk again. Now, over the years, I've had many problems with that knee. And finally, in 2014, June to be exact, I did have a knee replacement. And that knee is working well. But sadly, after all the years of trying to protect the left knee, my right knee is bad. And I'm struggling with that right now. I'm in physical therapy. I'm learning to walk again. I'm hoping to have stem cell in a few months. But again, I am finding ways. My purpose is, again, to walk again. And not only to walk again, but to dance, because I'm a dancer, believe it or not. With all my leg problems, I love to dance. So the first thing is to find a sense of purpose. My purpose with my knee was to learn to walk again, okay? So that I can be strong and do all the things that I need to do besides sitting here on the computer all the time. All right, the second thing is to believe in your abilities. Believe is one of the most important words in my vocabulary. In fact, it's part of my life philosophy. My copyrighted quote, which is believe, don't dream big, dream bigger. The sky is the limit, so reach for the stars. Having confidence in your own ability to cope with the stresses of life can play an important part in resilience. Becoming more confident in your own abilities, including your ability to respond to and deal with a crisis, is a great way to build resilience for your future. Listening to negative comments in your head is a bad thing. When you hear them, practice immediately replacing them with positive ones, such as, I can do this. I'm a great friend, mother, partner. I'm good at my job. If I had listened to my brain and listened to those doctors with those negative comments saying, you'll never walk again, I would not be walking today. And again, like I said, I'm struggling again. I'm about 95% walking again, but I will do this and I will dance again. So do not listen to the negative comments in your head. Fill yourself with positivity, okay? Research has demonstrated that your self-esteem plays an important role in coping with stress and recovering from difficult events. Remind yourself of your strengths and your accomplishments. And my strength is my mind. I've always been able to develop a way to get over all the bad things that happen in my life. And I've had some others, and I will share those later with you. All right, next, develop a strong social network. We're all on the media. We're on the media today. You're listening to us on the media, on a platform. So it's important to have people around you that you can confide in, people that you trust, okay? Having caring, supportive people around you acts as a protective factor during times of crisis. Well, simply talking about a situation with a friend or loved one won't make the troubles go away. It allows you to share your feelings, get support, receive positive feedback, and possibly come up with some solutions to your problems. So listen to your friends, listen to your family, and then decide what is best for you. But having a strong support system is very good. I have a very loving family. It's small, but I have a loving family. And my family consists of people that are also not blood relatives. In fact, I have 5,000 Facebook friends in 59 countries. I know that sounds a little insane, but I love them all dearly, and I do try to contact as many of them as I can on a daily basis. It keeps me busy, but they are my support system, and I'm also their support system. We help each other in times of need, especially during this period of COVID, which has been so difficult for everybody. Okay. All right. The next thing I want you to do is to embrace change. Without being flexible, you cannot be resilient. Flexibility, as I said, is an essential part of resilience. By learning how to be more adaptable, you'll be better equipped to respond when faced with a life crisis. Resilient people often utilize these events as an opportunity to branch out in new directions. While some people may be crushed by abrupt changes, highly resilient individuals are able to adapt and thrive. Okay, I'll give you another example of my personal experience. I've had several tragedies in my life. Okay. 6 months after I had my knee replacement in 2014, I was involved in a very serious automobile accident that almost took my life. In fact, my doctors told me I was a miracle to be alive. I broke 8 bones in my body, including a C1, C2 fracture in my neck. I had 4 fractures in my left ribs, 2 fractures in my left pelvis. I now have an 8-inch plate and 6 pins in my arm. My wrist does not bend. I had a collapsed lung and a lacerated spleen. I spent 3 days in ICU, 18 additional days in 2 hospitals, one of them being a rehab hospital. I spent 8 months in physical therapy on various parts of my body, but I survived. The pain was intense, and I had to find a way to become resilient and overcome the pain, or I would have wasted 8 months of my life. So you know what I did? Teacher Randy, who would become a writer after I went to Egypt, decided to write a novel. So with this good hand, my right hand, I wrote a 400-page novel. Now, I haven't published it yet, but that's coming. In the year 2022, Random Wanderings will become a published novel because I'm so proud of what I was able to do. By writing this novel, I was able to focus my mind on my imagination and travel the world in my book and not focus on the pain that I was suffering. So again, I was resilient by changing my mind attitude, being positive, and knowing that somehow I would get through this injury and I would survive, which I have. And by doing my novel, I was able to have the most amazing experience. And now I have a novel to show for that 8 months, which could have been a whole year of my life just lost because of my physical handicap. All right. So next thing, being optimistic. As you can tell, I'm a very optimistic person. No matter what, I try to find the best that I can in people, find the best in me, and do the best I can. Staying optimistic during dark periods can be very difficult, but maintaining a hopeful outlook is an important part of resiliency. What you are dealing with, may be difficult, but it's important to remain hopeful and positive about a brighter future. If I had given up on learning to walk, I would be in a wheelchair today. That's not who I am. If I had not written that novel, I would not have this wonderful outlook that I'm going to be sharing my novel soon. I would have wasted all those times in pain and misery and feeling sorry for myself. And I never feel sorry for myself. I have to keep moving forward. And that's part of being resilient. Positive thinking does not mean ignoring the problem. I never ignore the problem in order to focus on positive outcomes. It means understanding that setbacks are temporary and that you have the skills and abilities to combat the challenges you face. And I've always been able to find ways to overcome my problems. But along with all of this, we must nurture ourselves. When you're stressed, it can be all too easy to neglect your own needs. And I have been guilty of that, I have to admit. I'm not always perfect about resilience, and I'll tell you another situation that did get me down and caused me some depression and grief. Losing your appetite, I've done that. Ignoring exercise, definitely done that during COVID, trying to get back to that soon. Not getting enough sleep are all common reactions to a crisis situation. Instead, focus on building your self-nurturing skills. Even when you're troubled, make time for activities you enjoy. I love to listen to music. I listen to music a lot. I love to write. When I'm writing, whether it's a poem or a short story or working on one of my novels, this is my way to fulfill myself emotionally and mentally and intellectually, in fact. By taking care of your own needs, you can boost your overall health and resilience and be fully ready to face life's challenges. Okay, let me tell you what happened with me. All right, I've been through a lot emotionally and physically in my own life, but I've always been able to be in charge of my life and find ways to get through all these things that I told you about so far. But a tragic thing happened to me that I was not able to deal with, and that was the death of my husband. We had been married for 47 years, and on November 14th, 2019, I had to put him in the hospital with double pneumonia. Now, that's bad enough, but I never expected my husband not to recover from double pneumonia. The doctors could not discover what was causing this. They ruled out bacterial, they ruled out viral. They decided that probably it was environmental because one of his hobbies after his retirement was to restore old antique cars. And he would do a lot of spray painting and a lot of chemical things, stripping the paint off all these old cars to restore them. They've decided, even though he wore a mask, that they decided maybe something had happened, that he'd gotten this awful pneumonia from something environmental, from working outside. Well, sadly, on December the 9th, December the 6th, excuse me, he told me to go to Vegas. I was going to receive an award for Female Visionary and Educator of the Decade, by a very prestigious organization. We were supposed to go together. He was still in the hospital, but he said, "No, Randy, I want you to go." So I did. That day, they did a lung biopsy on him because they couldn't decide what kind of pneumonia he had. And they discovered that he had lung cancer. I did not know this until I got back on December the 10th, or December the 9th, excuse me. I get nervous when I talk about this. It's a very sad time in my life. I found out he had lung cancer, and it was so severe that 6 days later, my husband passed away. I was not prepared for his death. He'd been in the hospital for 31 days. I never expected him not to come home to me. This was one of those times when my resilience was tested to the ultimate because my guilt kicked in. I started blaming the teachers. I even for a short time blamed God, and I'm a very spiritual person. I had to get over that. I joined a church grief group that didn't seem to help me because they were all as upset and crying and miserable as I was. And together that didn't help my mental attitude. I even joined, I went online and found a grief counselor. She told me I really didn't need her, but I did need her. Then COVID hit, and I was locked in my house by myself with a 145-pound St. Bernard, just the two of us. Now, of course, I had my friends on Facebook, but I'm the kind of person I need face-to-face. I need interaction. I need hugs. We all need hugs, right? I was still miserable. But a miracle happened. I was listening to a teleconference with a lady who was going to offer courses in coaching. I had been a teacher. I had been an author. And through my teaching, I was developing strategies for people to live a better life, motivating them as I'd always done as a teacher. Okay. So this teleconference was like another miracle for me. After it was over, I thought, I can do that. I can start another career as a coach. I can find another way to motivate people. So from April 2020 to July 1st, 2020, as said earlier, I became a holistic emotional intelligence coach, life harmony coach, NLP practitioner, and became communication mastery certified. It saved my life because I was so miserable, and now I had a new direction. I had promised my husband on his deathbed that I would dream bigger, which is part of my philosophy, as I told you earlier, and I would move forward because he knew he wasn't going to make it. And I did. And this is what I'm doing now. I found my resilience by starting my career, my third career, guys, at the age of 71. I know, amazing, right? That I should be retired and enjoying my retirement, but that's not who I am. I'm a resilient person. I find ways to make myself happy. And now being a master uh, master editor and book writing consultant coach and helping people tell their stories is what I'm doing. Besides that, I'm an editor of 3 magazines right now and about 5 books so far. And some of the books have become international bestsellers. So I'm pleased that I'm able to help people get over their problems and find their resilience in becoming authors. Okay. All right. So enough about me for a little bit. Let's go on. Another thing you need to do is to develop problem-solving skills. As I've told you, I'm pretty good at developing that. It might take me a little while when the stress is intense, but I do find ways to get through problems that I've had in my life. So research suggests that people who are able to come up with solutions to a problem are better able to cope with problems than those who cannot. And I think I'm a pretty good problem solver. As a teacher, I also had to develop problem-solving skills to help my students who were having problems or issues learning and had to come up with new ways to teach them. So I've always done this throughout my life. So you need to experiment with different strategies and focus on developing a logical way to work through common problems. By practicing your problem-solving skills on a regular basis, you will be better prepared to cope with serious challenges emerge. And this is very important, guys. You need to develop your problem-solving skills. Without them, the problems will not go away. You know this. All right. Also, establish goals. Crisis situations are daunting. They can be frightening. They can be terrifying. They can seem insurmountable. Resilient people are able to view these situations in a realistic way and then set reasonable goals to deal with the problems. As I said, it was not a problem with me with my legs. I knew I had to walk again. I found ways to do that. I knew after my accident that I had to be whole again, and I am. I had some issues with my husband's death, but again, a miracle happened. God showed me the way, and I was able to become a coach and move forward and find another way to help people, as well as helping myself. When you find yourself being overwhelmed by a situation, as I was, you got to take a step back to simply assess what is before you. You got to brainstorm some possible solutions and then break them down into manageable steps. As I said, I tried the grief group, the face-to-face grief group. I've tried the online virtual grief counselor. None of those really were helping me. I had to find a new direction, which turned out to be becoming a coach. All right, taking action. Simply waiting for a problem to go away on its own only prolongs the crisis. I'm going to repeat that. Simply waiting for a problem to go away on its own only prolongs the crisis. Sometimes a miracle might happen and the problem might be solved, but you know that's not the case. If you sit around and complain and worry about things and don't do anything about it, nothing's going to change. Instead, you must start working on resolving the issues immediately. And while there may be no fast or simple solution, you can take steps toward making your situation better and less stressful. Focus on the progress that you have made thus far and planning your next steps, rather than becoming discouraged by the amount of work that still needs to be accomplished. And again, I want you to think about that. You know, little steps may seem like you're not accomplishing much, but if you don't have any steps at all, you're not going to reach the final destination. So no matter whether it's a small thing, it becomes a big thing when you put them all together. For instance, it has taken me, I had knee surgery on my right knee 3 months ago yesterday, okay? And I fell on my face because of my St. Bernard and hurt my other knee. So I had 2 bagged legs and physical therapy was not helping me. I was so distraught, so unhappy because I needed to get well and nothing was working. Well, once my left knee healed and my leg healed, it was very bruised. Now I'm making progress. It is slow. It's been a very slow progress. But the point is I'm making progress. And I can honestly say that with my right knee now, I'm about 95% back to being normal, I think, I hope. And I've actually even gotten down on the floor and danced a little bit because I love to dance. It's not perfect the way I want it to be, but it's almost there. So step by step, I am learning to walk again. And the progress, as I said, has been slow, but it's been ongoing, and I'm always moving forward. So don't think that that the little tiny steps are insignificant. They're only little tiny steps to getting to your goal, to your purpose. Okay? All right. Keep working on your skills. This is very important. Resilience may take time to build, so don't get discouraged. If you still struggle to cope with problematic events, everyone can learn to be resilient, and it doesn't involve any specific sets of manners or behaviors or actions. Resilience can be very dramatically from one person to the next. As I said, it took me 5 years to learn to walk again the first time. This time it's going to take me maybe a little over 3 months, and then I'm going to have stem cell and hopefully not have to have another knee replacement and walk normally again, so I can also dance again and travel the world again, as I hope to do once we're able to do that. So be patient. Be patient with yourself. Do not get discouraged, but you have to keep working on your skills. Don't give up on things. Research. I reinvent and re-examine myself on a daily basis, trying to find what else it is I can do to help myself be resilient, to become the Randy that I'm still searching for. Even at the age of 72 now, I'm still searching to find all the things that I can be to help myself and to help the world. Focus on practicing these skills as well as the common characteristics of resilient people, but also remember to build on your existing strengths. I hope that I've given you some information about how to be resilient, some steps. Let's review them one more time just to make sure. Okay. All right. First, find a sense of purpose. You have to have a reason for what you're doing. Believe in your abilities. Never give up on yourself and never give up. Always believe that you have the ability to overcome whatever it is. And if you don't, find people to help you with that. That's developing your social network, whatever it is, whatever it might be, whether it's in person or online. Embrace change. You must be flexible. Without flexibility, you're not going to become resilient because sometimes things don't work and you have to go from plan A to plan B to plan C and so forth. Try to be optimistic. If you allow yourself to go in those dark periods and remain there, nothing's going to change. You must be optimistic. Nurture yourself. Be sure to take care of yourself, okay? That means physically, emotionally, all of these things. Eat well, sleep well, okay? Um, Exercise, all of these things that you need to do. Develop problem-solving skills. Again, if you're not good at this, take some courses. Talk to people how to solve their problems. This is essential. If you don't know how to solve your own problems, you can't do this, guys. You've got to solve problems. Establish goals. We all establish goals, but once you establish them, try to find a way to actually make them happen, make them a reality. Take action. Again, sitting around thinking about what you're going to do, but not doing anything is not going to accomplish anything. You have to take action. And finally, keep working on those skills. You have them. We've all been given gifts from God, but our skills. You need to figure out what it is you're good at, because we all have those, and work on building them. Keep working at them. Thank you so much. And God bless all of you, and stay safe during this COVID period, and do the best you can.
All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our first speaker, Dr. Randy Ward. You know what, ma'am? Had it not been due to time constraint, I could have listened to you all night for that very informative and interesting presentation that you gave to us. And that's it. Thank you so much for providing us an opportunity to deepen our understanding on the issue of being resilient. All right, how to be resilient amidst this pandemic. All right, And for those tips that you shared with us, I am pretty sure our live audience will actually take your words into actions. And I'm pretty much, I particularly like the way your discussion on pointing out avoiding negative people and instead look for positive people who can help you in your for the challenge that you are actually experiencing, doing away with negative people and finding supportive people to help you stand, okay, with your own feet, and also for pointing out the the, the issue on embracing change, all right, and for being positive always. What I'm trying to say here is, no matter what happened, no matter how tough the situation is, we still have to be positive, all right, for us to survive all those obstacles, challenges that we are facing right now. What I like about you is that basically, no wonder you are a personal coach. I mean, you are the person who can actually whisper hope to those hopeless people, especially for those people who are now experiencing mental health issue right at this pandemic time. And also, we would appreciate for sharing us your personal journey for the traumatic experience that has befallen to you. And then, despite of that, you were able to survive. Thank you for sharing to us your skills in being a resilient people. All right.
My
So,
pleasure. Thank you so much.
yes, we truly appreciate great lecturers like you, Dr. Randy, and we are hoping to have you again in our next series. All right.
Thank you.
So,
God bless you.
again, thank you so much. All right. So, just a quick reminder, guys, if you have any questions to our first speaker, Dr. Randy Ward, just type it in the comment section below and we will bring that up during the questions and answer portion after the presentation. All right, so again, there you have it. Our first speaker, Dr. Randy Ward. All right, so at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we will now move to our second speaker. All right. So allow me a few seconds to pull up her short biography. Here we go. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, our second speaker for tonight's session is believing in an idea that we all have something special to add to the society by simple understanding of self and surrounding. She is a civil engineer by education, a life coach and neuro-linguistic programming practitioner by profession, a social reformer by heart, and a traveler by passion. She is a poet and vlogger by interest with more than 12 years of experience. Our second speaker is also a TEDx speaker and organizer, a Rex Karamvir awardee. After having her decent share of professional and personal experience in technical field for 6 to 7 years, she actually switched to be a life coach, enhancing and enriching human lives with the minutes of deepest learning of human lives and behavior, having touched more than 40,000 lives personally through virtual medium all across the country. And her advocacy still goes on in helping the youth, working with the professionals and homemakers, connecting with their lives, transforming and helping them getting better with their emotional balance. So, ladies and gentlemen, here to share her take on the topic, developing resiliency, please help me welcome Rashmi Saha, all the way from India. Hello. Are we good? All right. So I think our second speaker has not yet appeared on the screen. So let's give her a minute or two. Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm awfully sorry for that one. I made a wrong introduction. All right. That should have been our third speaker. All right. Thank you for reminding me for that. All right. Here we go again. Anyway, I will take responsibility for this. All right. Okay. So, our second speaker for tonight is a founder of the highly esteemed Christian Widows and Widowers Empowered Initiative in Nigeria. It is a nonprofit organization in operation for the past 4 years and fully registered with CAC in October 2019. She is a pastor of RCCG Parish in Nigeria. She is currently the executive director of Billy Joy Food Limited and director of Mayo Properties. She actually completed her BSc education in mathematics from Lagos State University, Ojo, Lagos, in Nigeria on the year 2005. And she also completed her leadership certification from Iconic Master Class in USA. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're privileged to have Mom Beatrice Yusufov, all the way from Nigeria, joining us as a speaker. And also, she will be shedding light on the topic developing resilience. Hello, Mom Beatrice Yusufov.
Thank
We're
you
so
so
glad to
much
have you
for
here.
thank you so much for having me. Afternoon.
I think Mom
I'm
Beatrice
turning
is
my
freezing.
I'm turning my passion, my, my passion, purpose, and pursuing it with all passion in me, turning my pain to purpose, and I'm pursuing it with every aspect of my life. I've been a widow for the past 11 years, and that's what prompted me even to looking and coaching widows in African countries. It is a pleasure for me to be here to speak on resilience this hour, developing resilience. And I want to say thank you to Dr. Randy for giving us more light on that topic earlier. Resilience, as a person, I will start by saying that resilience is an ability to adapt and bounce back when things don't go as planned. There are many ways at which we have planned our life to be as human beings. But how do you feel when things don't fall the way you have planned it? Your ability to cope, your ability to take the right decision, your ability to move forward, your ability never to wallow in failure is resilient. As a person, as a young lady, I was built to become resilient right from the young age of my life because my mother made it happen. Thank you. Resilience is ability to be independent. Yes, when you are not dependent on anybody, but I must tell you that you need support of others even to be resilient. So I was built to be able to take care of myself right from the beginning of my life, to be able to face the challenges of life, to be able to move forward and make right decision at the right time without looking back. When you are able to do so, it build resilience in you. We have children, and as we grow up, even as an individual, we all face one way or the other in our life. And in that aspect of growth, as a, as a child, even becoming an adult, we are able to build resilience, but it doesn't occur to every child. Depend on how we're trained, the environment you find yourself, and people around you. Resilient people don't wallow or dwell in failure. They acknowledge the situation, they learn from their mistakes, and they move forward in life. I don't know what you may have been passing through. I, as a person, the situation I've found myself in my life has strengthened me and built resilience in me. That I don't need to seek for help at all times. I should be able to learn from the mistake of the past and be able to move forward in my life. Again, resilience is the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, in the face of trauma, in the face of tragedy, in the face of insignificant source of stress. Your ability to forge ahead, your ability to tell yourself that there is a reason for you to be in the position where you find yourself. When I became a widow 11 years ago, it was a trauma, a tragedy, things that I don't just really bargain for. And how do I come out of it? Because I've been built on how to live my life and to accept whatsoever that occurred to me, even though it was very tough for me. But I still see that it does not mean that God hates me. It does not mean that I've not done it right. That is why my husband died. I was able to see it in the perspective of God, that God is aware of me. And I just have to move forward in my life because my children need me. You were young. My marriage was just 6 years as of that time. Then how do I forge ahead? Based on my past experience, yes, I've never experienced the death of husband before then, but there are some things I've experienced in my life that has strengthened me to be able to move forward in the journey of my life. So I'm saying that the ability to turn every trauma, every tragedy that confronts you in the journey of life to triumph is an aspect of resilience. What is confronting you? What are the challenges that you are battling in the journey of your life? Your ability to turn it, to confront it, and turn it even to triumph is an aspect of resilience. And that is why you have to be optimistic. You just have to believe that it is well with you. You have to believe that things will surely come out normal. Look at the situation we find ourselves in the world with COVID. 3 years ago, nobody knew about COVID. But the world entirely has adapted gradually to the situation. We were locked down for many months. It was as if the end has come. But gradually, we are able to find strength even in that trauma during the time of COVID. We are able to survive. We are able to come out alive. There are many families that they lost their loved one. Some lost 4, 5 people in a family, but they are still alive today. The remaining family are still alive. They did not say because other people died, they also need to die. They are able to pick up the pieces and move on with their lives. That is an aspect of resilience. There are some people that even had COVID and they are able to go into the treatment and came out even stronger than before. That is an aspect of resilience. There are some people they could not cope, even with all the medication being given to them, they still lost the battle. But there are some, even in this attitude, they are able to cope, they are able to come out even stronger. I, as a person, I believe that seeing blessing in pain is a gift from God. and how to develop resilience. When you are able to see that any pains that confronts you, God is aware of it, and you are able to determine even to move forward and to see the positive side of life, even in the you just have to believe through the help of God. You need to believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, the spirit of I can make it work, I can make it happen. It is very possible. When you put on that strength in you, it will help you to build resilience. You also need to learn from your mistake and failure. There's an adage in Africa that says when a young when a young boy fall, he will look at the front. But when an adult fall, fell, he will look back. He want to see what make him or her to fall down. That is just it. When you are able to look at the mistake, how what happened, why do I fail in the past uh, experience, then you build on it, then it will help you to move forward. And when such confronts you again, you have strength even to build on. You need to build self-confidence. Self-confidence is very important in building resilience. You need to believe in yourself first, and you need to block your ear even from the stain of others, as in people persecuting you or people talking you down. You don't need to look at what people say about you. You need to be focused and remain focused, knowing where you are going and pursuing it with purpose. Set yourself some goals. It may not be a long time goal, it may be a short time goals, and see that you accomplish them. When you set goals for yourself and work towards achieving it, it will help you build resilience. You need also to believe that whatsoever you think in your mind can come to reality. Take, for example, when I became a widow, I married from another state different from I, and the culture was different. There was an attempt that, okay, because my husband died, they are like, give us the children so that you can go and marry again. Give us the property so that you can go and marry again. But myself, right from the beginning of my life, that is not the way I want to live my life. I have three children. It's not possible for me to give my children to people my children did not live with. Yes, they are my in-law. I need to tell it to myself that it will not work in that way. I need to live my life with my children. I have to gather strength based on what I've encountered even at the early stage of my life and be able to stand the test of time. There's a book I author with other women around the world called A Widow Resilience. The aspect of this is well written in that book, that we as a person, as a woman or a man or a young adult, you just have to believe in the strength of God in you. There's an aspect of resilience that is built in you right from the beginning of your life. It is right time for you to move forward and to move higher in it by adapting yourself into situation that will make you to move forward, not accepting negativity. Doesn't matter the circumstances, believe that you can come out higher and come out boldly. Self-confidence is key. And also, you need to believe that whatsoever you think in your mind can come to reality. If you can think it, you can have it. If you can dream it, you can bring it to reality. Today, I'm a widow coach. Organization 4 years ago, I was trying to build people around me. I want to know how young widows are living their lives. At the initial stage, I was thinking I was the only young widow and I needed to hear the stories of others. And that was what brought me even to the journey of coaching widows. Today, we have almost 5,000 widows in our support group, and we reach out to not less than 10,000 widows every month through our platform called Christian Widows and Widowers Empowered Initiative Nigeria. This is an aspect where I'm able to speak to the affairs of widows community, how to build their life, how to be resilient, how to face their life and be able to live their life in an acceptable manner. You also need to choose your response. You want to build resilience, you need to know how to speak out and how to choose what to respond to is very important. Learn to relax and apply self-love. I'm speaking even as a widow and as a widow coach. And I'm very sure this can also be adapted even to other people that are not in my tribe. Self-love is key. I've had some people they are rejected because they feel that people do not like them, that people hate them. Some are even afraid to speak even among their colleagues because of low self-esteem. No, you have to start speaking. You need to talk. You need to love yourself first. You need to, give yourself a kind of confidence that will motivate you to know that you are loved. Even if anybody did not love you, love yourself first. When you love yourself first, then that love you have for yourself, then you extend it to others, then you can radiate love and you will build confidence and you become resilient. Now, you have to also maintain positive perspective of yourself. You just have to maintain it that you can do good things and there are good things that has been deposited in you which you need to bring to limelight even to help humanity, and that helps start from yourself and your immediate family. Now I want to go again and tell you that you have good connection and what. Okay, when you are also building resilience, another way to build resilience is to believe that you have a good character, contribution that is valuable. You need to believe it in yourself. That you have good deposit to give out to others. That you are in control and you have right mindset to cope in any situation. You just have to have it in your mind that there is a deposit of power, deposit of grace, deposit of strength in you to also be a blessing unto others and contribute in a valuable way. You are in control and you have right mindset to cope in any situation. Now I want to move further by talking about building resilience equally involve the total human well-being. My organization, Coaching Widows, my objective is based on total human well-being. The total human well-being are the mental well-being, the economical well-being, the emotional well-being, the spiritual well-being, the social well-being. I therefore relate it to resilience. That when you have spiritual resilience, it will help you build confidence in you because spiritual control the physical. If you know the attributes and the promises of God concerning your life, it will strengthen you to be resilient. Also, number two, mental resilience. When your mental well-being is right, it will enable you to build resilience. Your emotional resilience is key. And how strong are you economically? These are very important as you build resilience. It is of a great importance to also know the domain of resilience. This will also as well help you develop resilience. And in domain of resilience, we have vision. The most important of the domain, vision is about your sense of purpose, goals, and personal vision for yourself. What are your vision? What are your purpose? You must find your purpose to be able to build resilience. Your personal vision is key as well. How do you compose your composition? It also matters. It's all about regulating emotions. You need your reasoning is key as well. How do you anticipate and plan is very important. Also, tenacity, persistence is key. How persistent are you when you are looking for, when you are seeking solution? You have to be persistent. You have to do it again. You have to continue doing it until you get result. You don't need to be tired for you to become resilient. Collaboration is also key. We are all social beings. We need people around us. We have to come together. You need to believe that you need people around you to be able to impart life as a resilient person. Again, you need friends. Friendship is also important. As somebody that is resilient, you discover that they have people around them because they are always ready to impart life. They are blessing to humanity. So therefore, help coping and welcoming is very key. Positive values, feel happy, right decision, help others, and pursue social justice and honesty is key in developing resilience. Resilience techniques, as we have heard from Dr. Randy as well, you need skill, you need techniques, you need to know how, some way even to be able to be resilient. That is being connected to others, being flexible, being able to make realistic plan and take action to carry them out. You have to be able to carry out any plans that you have, even to completion. When I decided to go into widow coach, because number one, I need healing my journey, and I want other people that are in my situation to be healed as well. It's a determination. I pray about it and I make up my mind that I want to reach out to thousands of widows all over the world. And when I started, the ideas started coming in and keep on coming in. And the more I am doing it, the more I enjoy what I'm doing, the more other people are being blessed through what I am doing. You also need the ability to be able to communicate well with others and problem solve, both individual and with others. Resilient people are not scared of uh, being they are not scared of what people say or not doing it well. They believe that they are doing it well, and they always want even to increase in their strength by learning more and bring to reality what they have in plan. So being able to manage strong feelings is also an aspect of resilience. You have to be confident and you have to live your life as intentionally. Now, importance of resilience. Resilience is important because it gives people the strength needed to process and overcome hardship. There are many people that they become widow. We have seen some after 2 years, they equally died because they could not withstand the trauma. During the time of pandemic, there are some people that they lost their job and they did not have the positivity, the mind that they can continue, they can start from scratch again to be able to take care of their family, and they are no more today. It's not even the COVID that killed them, but because of a lot of trauma that happened because of COVID, they are no more again because they could not stand even the trouble of life, the hardship. So how I'm telling you this hour that you as a person, we just have to build resilience. We have to develop resilience. We have to see positivity in all that we are doing. We have to be optimistic. We have to see that God is aware of our situation and is able to carry us along. Those lacking resilience get easily overwhelmed and may turn to unhealthy coping mechanism. That is what I just explained now. If you lack resilience, you can become tired of life because the situation in the whole world now is not encouraging. And that is why you just have to encourage yourself. You just have to believe in yourself. You just have to tell yourself that if I am alive, I can live the life rightly. Resilient people tap into their strength and support system to overcome challenges and they walk through problems with their head highly lifted. Yes, if you be resilient people, if you are resilient, you carry your head lifted because your the confidence in you and seeing the future that you are coming alive, doing it well, will enable you even to move forward. We must learn to see good in every bad situation. As I conclude today, subdue your mountain and bring out the gold therein. Mountains are full of treasure. Depend on the mountains you are aimed at subdue. Be calculative, begin to issues of life, and intentional as well. Prayer is equally essential with a little faith to bring it to reality. As you move on to develop resilience, prayer is of importance to enable you identify every mountain that has value, have the ability to accomplish greater height. You have the strength. There is a deposit of power. There is a deposit of grace. There is a deposit of enablement. You just have to tap into it and move on with your life. I am moving on with my life. I am reaching out to the world and I've made up my mind. If that is the only thing I can do to reach out to millions of widows all over the world, I will be glad at the end of my life. This aspect of life, resilience, has helped me to manage even my late husband left organization. I could remember that before he died, there is a project at hand which was halfway. I believe I can, and I was able to accomplish it by bringing it to accomplishment. And today I am a happy woman. I'm doing what I love doing, and I'm reaching out to millions of widows all over the world through my network, and it gives me joy. Thank you, and I say God bless you all. I can't hear.
Okay,
Okay.
here we go. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our second speaker for tonight, that's Mom Beatrice Yesofo, all the way from Nigeria. Thank you, Mom, for making time to sit through this presentation. It was very engaging and fulfilling because of your presence. And you know what? One thing I've noticed in this webinar is that I haven't noticed, guys didn't have prepared slides. Why? Because they are speaking from experience. Okay, they are a great storyteller, and so for that reason, let's all give them a big round of applause for our first two speakers for sharing their personal journey. All right, and also I was very particular with you providing intervention for the widow. All right.
Yes,
So
yes,
it look as if you are a person who actually whisper hope to the widow out there, and then
yes,
providing them some interventions for them to at least able to be resilient, especially
yes,
in this moment that everyone is actually experiencing a mental issue problem where everything is
exactly.
restricted, where everything is being restricted by the government, including the economic aspect of every individual is now being affected, the
Exactly.
profession, the work, and everything. But we're so glad you are there, all right, providing intervention to the widow and whispering
Yes,
hope to them that no matter
yes,
what happened. And also I'm very particular with you pointing out on the mindset. All right.
yes,
I'm, what I understand is that no matter how the situation is, no matter how tough the situation is, for as long as you have this positive mindset, and then you can still reach, okay, the dream that you're aiming to reach for. Just be
yes,
positive, just be optimistic, and then have a good mindset in your mind, and then you go to go. All right.
yes, yes.
All right. So again, we once again thank you for such a commendable job, and we
Thank you.
look forward to having you again in our next series. Your
Thank,
presence here definitely enriched our webinar, and for
thank you.
this we remain grateful. All right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank God bless
You're
you.
welcome. All
Thank you.
right. All right. So before we call on our third speaker, allow me first to congratulate Vivi Priam, all right, in appreciation for showing his or her continued support to IGP through his or her regular attendance on our webinar series. And for that reason, IGP is pleased to award you its lifetime membership certificate. All right, so congratulations. All right, so let's now move on to our last but definitely not the least speaker. All right, I have already shared with you her short bio, but I think I have to read it again. All right, our third speaker actually is someone who believes in the idea that we all have something special to add to the society by simple understanding of self and surroundings. She is a civil engineer by education, a life coach and neuro-linguistic programming practitioner by profession, a social reformer by heart, and a traveler by passion. She is also a poet and a vlogger by interest with more than 12 years of experience. Our third speaker is also a TEDx speaker and an organizer. She is a Rex Caranvier awardee. After having her decent share of professional and personal experience in technical field for 6 to 7 years, she managed to switch to be a life coach, enhancing and enriching human lives with the minutes and deepest learning of human lives and behavior. Having touched more than 40,000 lives personally through virtual medium all across the country, and I think that's in India. And her advocacy still goes on up to this time in helping the youth, working with professionals and homemakers, connecting with their lives, transforming and helping them getting better with their emotional balance. So, ladies and gentlemen, here also to share her take on the topic developing resiliency, please help me welcome again Rashmi Saha all the way from India.
A very, very good evening, all of you from India. Uh, am I audible?
Hello, ma'am. Do you
Yeah,
have a prepared slides?
yes, I will. Am I audible? If you can confirm that, that will be great. Am I audible and visible?
All right.
Yes, hello. A very good evening from India. I am Rashmi Saha. And as we speak today, I just heard Dr. Randy and Beatrice talking so beautifully and explaining everything so very well about the idea and the concept of resilience, right? We all are in last 2 years, we have gone through real tough times, specifically the pandemic times. The things have been different for all of us in different ways. But when we talk about problems, when we talk about rising above our problems, this is something that we face in everyday lives. You know, we come across problems, we come across situations where we face troubles to overcome such problems. And this is where we need this skill. How do we come out of it? Dr. Randy and Beatrice have already covered a lot of things. I'm going to share something with you here which will help you understand, although we'll be talking more and more. And I would really appreciate if you have any questions around this, right? So, because I have certain questions also, and I would love if you would, share your questions or your reactions to this, it would be great. But then when we talk about resilience in particular, right? We talk about solving the problems, we talk about coming out of it, we talk about coming out of the situation, we talk about empowering ourselves, we talk about enabling ourselves to cope up with a certain problem or a certain issue that we have been facing all this while, right? Now, what are problems actually? If I actually ask you what problems are, if there is a problem which is a problem for me, is it a problem for you also? You know, I'm going to share something here which will help you understand my perspective of resilience. I'm just sharing my screen. Please bear with me.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Sure, ma'am. You can actually
Yeah.
press the share screen button.
Yes, sure. Yes.
All right. The virtual floors is yours for you to share your content to our live audience.
Yes, and this will help us interact in this whole session that I'm going to conduct here. And it will also be very engaging because when we talk about, we have already understood the concept of resilience, right? We know what it is, you know, and how do we enable ourselves. But a lot of times when we start working around such things, we start facing problems. Okay, fine, and I know the concept already, but how do I work around this? How do I actually go about this? How do I empower myself? Because when you start working, you start getting questions, you start facing troubles, and that is when you start thinking, okay, what am I supposed to do about it? I am going to focus exactly on those areas and what you're going to do when you come across questions. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen with you. There is a very interesting quote, okay, that I came across, and that has a lot
Hello,
of
ma'am.
idea about how we actually see it. The quote
Hello,
says, if
ma'am.
you're able to see this, or you'll be you'll be able to see it in few seconds. The quote
Hello,
says,
ma'am.
resilience is all about
Hello, ma'am.
focusing on the right side of any situation, the
Hello,
correct
ma'am.
side of a
Hello,
situation.
hello, hello,
every
ma'am.
every situation has multiple sides to it.
Hello,
Every
ma'am.
situation has different aspects to it, right?
Hello,
So
ma'am.
when I say, yes,
Yeah,
yes, is the
make
screen
it.
visible?
Yeah, yeah,
When you
visible.
see
Ma'am,
this,
make it
resilience is the
presentation mode.
art of, yes,
Ma'am, make it presentation mode. Slideshow.
okay, yes, okay. So they say resilience is the art of caring
No,
for the
no.
right
Hello,
things. Yes,
hello, ma'am. You have to share your entire screen, not from window. You have to share
okay,
it from your entire screen. So stop the share
okay,
and share it again with your entire screen.
okay, okay, I'll do that. Wait. Uh, Sorry about the technical issues here. Once we are done, the entire screen. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Now open your PPT and make it slideshow.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll do that.
Exit full screen.
Is it okay?
Yeah. Yeah, now move to the next slide.
Right?
Yes, ma'am, it's working. It's working.
Okay, perfect, perfect. We're good to go now. Okay, so the resilience, this definition has actually helped me understand whatever I'm going to conduct today and what the part that I'm going to conduct with you guys today. Resilience is art of caring for the right things. Now, what is right? What is right actually? What is right? Right for everyone, if you'll ask, who has an experience, or you also would have noticed, right and wrong is just a perspective. What is right for you can be different for me. What is right for me can be completely different or maybe wrong for you as well. So there is a very classic example. A six is written somewhere. A six, if I see, I can see it as six. Maybe you can see it as nine. There is another example that there's a picture that I'm going to share here, which will help you understand resilience and the importance and the perspective so very well. If you see this picture is exactly the same thing. It's one particular moment captured. But what is the requirement here? What is the thrill here for both the people? The one who is there standing on the land, waiting for a boat, waiting for a ship. This person is very happy seeing the boat coming towards him. Whereas this person who has been sailing for so long, it's an ocean, and when this person sees a land, person gets happy because he has finally found a land. Who is right here, or who is more desperate here, or whose need is more important here? This is exactly what we understand from this particular picture. The requirement is important, the requirement is necessary, and it is sensitive for both of them because both of them need something that the other person already has. Now this is exactly what we need to understand here. What is right perspective? Whatever is your perspective is right for you. This is something I am going to highlight all the time because we always have this conflict in our minds that what is right and what is wrong, and do we need to take care of ourselves? Do we actually need to be in this pain? Do we need to come out of it? Is there a particular way to come out of it? If I'm coming out of this problem or this pain, will I be hurting someone? Will I be creating problems? For these questions are actual barriers when we practice resilience, and this is why I am focusing on the perspective. Now, why I'm focusing on the perspective? Because what I'm going to discuss here is you, me, and everything around us. When we start to overcome a problem or a grief or a situation or something that has happened in the past, and we try to plan to come out of it. And we also know the tricks. We know how to come out of it. But what we actually need to know is, are we capable to do it? Is this formula working for me or not? How do we know this? There is no particular way of knowing this. This is exactly what I want all of you to understand, right? This is exactly why I want to focus here on the perspective that whatever perspective you have is the right perspective. And when we talk about us, we need to understand ourselves. We need to understand who we are. We need to understand how do we think. Self awareness is very, very important when we practice or when we are going to understand or we are going to execute resilience. Can you think, let's say if you are going out, you're going out to shop. How do you choose something for yourself? Do you wear anything or do you buy anything wherever whatever comes to you or wherever you see? Probably not, right? When you go to a store, when you go to a merchandise store, you go and pick whatever you like. And how do you choose what you like? Because you have an experience, right? You know what color suits you, you know what pattern suits you, you know the texture, you know what material suits you. You understand your body type, you understand your shades and tones, you understand your taste, right? You don't go and pick anything that you see. You know yourself, you know your body, you know your interest, and you also know the occasion why you're wearing that dress or why you're buying that dress, right? Similarly, for every single thing where we are a part of that thing, that concept, that logic, that theory, we play a very, very important role. And knowing ourselves makes it very, very easy. So this is why we need to understand and focus on knowing ourselves. And now, how do we need to know ourselves? What are the aspects? What are the elements? What are the areas that we need to know ourselves? So here again, you'll see on your screen the four aspects to us. We are a body. We're also a mind. We have emotions. We have feelings. And we also have this feeling of the idea of soul, which a lot of times people cannot explain. But that still it is, our wisdom, the mindfulness, the spirituality, that's a part of spirituality. Now, we need to understand when we talk about our mind, we need to know how, what our skills are. What abilities do we have? Are we capable to perform? Let's say, okay, we are coming out of resilience and we need to take certain steps. We need to know. We need to know ourselves. Are we capable to do that? Are we capable to learn that skill? If I am someone who comes from an art background and I don't have an understanding of any technicalities, and because I have to practice resilience, I have to enable myself, to come out of that situation and get into a different situation where I need to learn technicalities. Let's say I have to learn legal stuffs. Let's say I have to learn medical stuffs because I have had problems where I was not knowing it and I have to come out of it. I need to know whether I'm capable of this or not, whether my mind, whether my thinking, whether my mental capabilities and abilities are aligned with it or not. So, this is why you need to understand yourself on the mental side of you. We need to understand our emotional side as well. A lot of times we plan to practice resilience, we want to come out of a situation, but we know sometimes you're very emotionally weak. It's very difficult for us to forget things. It's very difficult for us to forgive people. We are so sensitive that whenever we see something related to that particular incident that has happened in the past, let's say a failure because of a relationship failure. Let's say a relationship failure is something that we have faced, and I want to come out of it, but I know I am a person who has not forgiven. I am a person who's so sensitive that whenever I see someone smiling, when I see a couple enjoying, I start feeling bad. I start feeling lonely. That is the point where I need to understand that if I need to come out of the situation, I need to back myself up emotionally. I need to be strong enough emotionally. Now, how do I know this? By this self check, by self awareness. Otherwise, every single time, whenever we are planning to come out of that situation, we will see a happy couple. We will see, oh God, I am missing out on this, and I don't have someone to love. I don't have someone to move around, and I don't have someone to be with me. And again, what will happen to me? I'll get back to the same phase all over again. And what I'm gonna think about it? Oh, I failed. Now again, so this is a series of failure that I'll keep on engaging myself into. This loop will never end. This loop will end when I'll self assess myself, when I'll realize that, okay, fine, you need to take care of this point because you are a sensitive woman or a man, and you need to change yourself here. You need to be strong. So this is why you need to know yourself emotionally. Physically, it's very, very important. Resilience, we usually we don't talk about it, but have you ever felt gloomy if you're not keeping well? Any one of you? Think about it. If you're feeling weak, let's say, if or you're unwell and you're not feeling fit, do you feel gloomy? Do you feel sad? Do you have mood swings? Have you ever felt that? That happens. And this is the reason understanding your body is very important also. Because if you're trying to come out of a problem and your body is not supporting, your energy level is not supporting you, it will be very difficult. The struggle will become difficult. So I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say here is every aspect of us is important. Similarly, spiritual. We need to understand, Beatrice mentioned God. A lot of people don't believe in the concept of God or any superpower, but when people do it, it's a belief system. So I'm going to just chunk it down to one simple word. It's the belief of energy, the belief of purpose of life. You need a lot of people when they believe that this is my purpose of life, and even though they have failures, even though they are coming across a lot of difficulties, they try to overcome it. Why? Because they think it's the purpose of my life, and that helps them. So again, if you are spiritually aware of yourself, you know your belief system, and you know how to work around you, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Okay. Developing your resilience when you are, I think Dr. Andy already covered this, but because more we come across such words, more we come across such concepts, it will be easier for us to remember this. So whenever we are talking about overcoming a problem, coming out of a situation, these points will definitely help you to a great deal. So being open is very important. We go through problems, we go through griefs, we go through issues, we go through a lot of mental trauma, some emotional trauma sometimes, and we have a habit of keeping everything to ourselves. That could be a coping mechanism, that could be, of course, and that helps a lot of people. But if you feel like talking to someone, if you feel like talking about it to an expert, to a therapist, to a coach, please do that. Because when you open up, not only you just feel light about it, but also you find solutions while you're talking about it. You feel light. You feel as if you have someone to listen to. A lot of times you don't need solutions. All you want is to hear you. All you want is to listen to you. All you want is empathy. So please be open. Try to learn. Try to open up. Try to learn your surrounding. Who could you reach out to? It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be your partner, or maybe an expert. So being open helps you developing resilience. You feel good, and then you try to feel better. And this is how the entire chain begins. Practicing positive affirmation is something that I have personally seen. It has helped me great deal. Affirmations is something, you keep repeating, you keep affirming yourself of certain concepts, certain words, certain phrases, and certain ideas. You want something, ask for it. I don't know how many of you believe in law of attraction, but I do practice law of attraction. I totally believe in it, and trust me, it has done magic. It could be the power of belief also, but then if it is, why not? And this is exactly what we need to discuss and understand here, that the power of belief is very, very, very strong. So why not believe in the positive sides of everything? So practicing positive affirmations are very important. I'm going to discuss this in the next slide as we talk. Okay, it's very, very important when we discuss positive affirmations. Focus on your needs and priorities. Now, this is where a lot of people go wrong here. When we're trying to come out of a problem, we just focus on coming out of the problem. But when you actually come out of it halfway, you're clueless where to go now. Am I doing the right thing? What path should I take? Now, these questions again disappoint you, these questions discourage you, and a lot of times people are back to square one. So, when you are practicing, when you're making efforts, when you're taking this pain, when you're having all the courage to come out of a problem, also try to understand and figure out where you want to go after this, which is the way that you want to opt for yourself. That will be very, very, very helpful for you, right? Embrace the change. I remember Dr. Randy saying it. Embracing changes is something. Embracing the change is a must required, belief that you must have. Everything keeps changing. We keep changing. The surrounding keeps changing. Here, when we talk about resilience, we are coming out of a problem. We are coming out of a situation. We are coming out of something that we never wanted. And of course, after that, life has to change for good or bad. That is in our hands, of course. But life will change. Let's say we've lost something or someone, or we have lost an opportunity, and we are coming out of that problem. But if we still stay stuck there, and we keep thinking about what we lost, what we didn't have, we missed the opportunity, or whatever, we will never be able to come out of it. And even if we are coming out of it, our mind will still be stuck there. So, what is advised here is embrace the change. Whatever is with you right now, living in the present is something that is going to help you a lot. And of course, when we say this, try to find the positives in that change. When you try to start finding the positive, so when we talk about focusing on the positive, again, this is an instruction. But when I go about how to do that, how do you focus on the positive? So I'm giving a very, very small tip here. I'm sure it's going to help all of you in your personal lives, professional lives, everywhere. Very simple activity of practicing gratitude helps you focusing on the positive side of it. I am super sure, I'm super, 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 super sure that something or the other definitely happens good every day with all of us. Do you know this? If not, then go and try observing it right from this moment right now. Maybe the same thing could be good and positive for a lot of people. Maybe it won't be good for someone else. You have to find what is good for you. You don't have to compare it with anyone else. So if you have a great breakfast today, practice gratitude. Thank the universe. Thank your provider, your whoever is cooking for you, or you yourself, or your employer, anyone, whoever you believe in, is the biggest reason, or the strongest, or the most positive reason for that breakfast. Thank that person, and try observing the good things happening, the positive things happening in your life. And trust me, it is going to change your life, because you know what, when you sleep, when you end your day, all you would be collecting and remembering would be the good thing that has happened. But I must tell you, this won't happen overnight, but there must be a start to it, right? Try practicing it, give it a start, give it a shot. I'm sure it's going to bring a lot of changes in your life. I was talking about the affirmations. These are certain affirmations. You can have a look, and it will definitely, some way or the other, you will attract. I'm important. I need to be kind to myself. That is very, very important. You need to be kind to yourself. You should be the first person to be kind to yourself. Otherwise, you can never expect someone else to be kind to you. How can you do that? So we have to love ourselves. We have to be kind to ourselves. We have to pull ourselves from the situation that we have seen and we have been through. We have to be resilient enough. We have to be kind enough to come out of it and begin new, start a new life, you know. So this is my story, and I will have to work. We need to understand every one of us comes with a different story. No matter the life events would be similar, parallel, but our stories are different. We all come with our own dramas in life. We all come with our own pains, our own success and achievements in life. Also, don't forget that you deserve happiness. I deserve happiness. We all deserve happiness. We all do, without a doubt. Period. We deserve happiness. And this shall pass too. We have been taught this, right? Everything will pass. Nothing will remain constant. The moment of sadness, the moment of grief, problem, issues, it'll pass. You just need to hold on. You just need to have faith. You just need to have courage. So these affirmations will help you have that power, that courage that you need to, bring in yourself when we talk about how do you empower yourself to develop resilience. These affirmations will help you a lot. And then this is my personal suggestion. This is something I really, really, really personally, focus on. Activity. Sometimes you just can't focus on something. This is for people who cannot actively focus on resilience. There is This is a cheat sheet. I would say this cheat sheet to resilience. Distract yourself, engage yourself in something. I just got this list of things. You can engage yourself in music if you like music. Try to listen to soft music, nice music. Music has a great impact in our, how do we think? How do we process our emotions? How do we think? Try to listen to some sad songs, and you realize after 15 minutes you have got into that zone of gloom and sadness and depth and intensity. Listen to some high nice peppy or soft love romantic music, and you'll see your mood suddenly changing. You feel like dancing. Your heart feels light. So this is the power of music. And similarly, everything has an impact. Sports, gardening, cooking, you know traveling, reading, lot of things. Photography, picking up a skill. I remember Dr. Andy also mentioned this. Picking up a skill is very important. These skills not only enable you to feel better about yourself, they also add something to your life that you can celebrate if you really want to. It makes you feel good about yourself. So picking up a good skill, a good activity, a distracting, a happy activity is always good to do. Go ahead, do that. Okay. Now, when we talk about ourselves, we've spoken about ourselves, right? There's something that I want you to know is we are not just ourselves. We have a surrounding around us, right? We have an environment. So this is a very beautiful quote, and I relate to this, and I'm sure all of you might relate to this, that your environment influences your mindset, doesn't it? Why do we go to travel? Why do we travel? Why do we go to places? Why do we go to beaches and mountains? Why? Feel good, right? Because we know when there is a change of place, it will change our mindset also. And when we talk about resilience, a mindset shift is very, 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 very important, because that is where it has to begin. Even if you're facing any challenges, your mindset has to be firm that, okay, I want to change. I want to work on this. I want to come out of this. So your environment has to be very supportive. Now, what are these elements of our environment? I will just have a quick look. We know this. Our environment consists of our family. We need to know our family, whether they're supportive or not. If they're supportive, please take help from them. Now, similarly, family, friends, your partner, spouse, co-workers, social setup. It's all very important. Social setup I'll come later. But these for people, your family, your friends, your partners, your co-workers, It's very important to know them. It's very important to understand them. When we talk about understanding ourselves, it is very important to understand our surrounding and people also. Because let's say if you're trying to do something and we get a very supportive partner or maybe a family member or a friend, don't you think that journey would be really easy? Think about it. Have you ever got any support from your friends when you're trying to come out of a certain issue? Wasn't it helpful? So how would you know that who's going to help you unless you know your friends well, unless you know your family well? If you know your family properly, if you know their understanding of you, if you know their emotions, if you know how sensitive they are, if you know what their belief system is, you definitely can go. I'll give you my personal example. I'm very close to my family. I think they're the first people I share any of my problems with. And because I have known this, I have been practicing this for years now, it becomes very easy for me to reach out to them without any hesitation. And I go with a belief that, okay, if I go to my parents, if I go to my siblings, my problems, maybe I won't get a solution, but I know that I'm going to feel very good about myself. And I embrace my encouragement from that particular moment where I share my things with my parents. And that moment of encouragement leads to another. That gives me the courage to fight for more, ask for more. And then I start working around making myself more capable, more, strong to work around whatever problem or situation or anything that I have been through. So, this is how, when you start knowing your surrounding, it helps you a lot. Social setup, it is again important. The kind of social setup that we are in, sometimes that is very important. Because let's say if I'm going to work around something and my social setup is not supporting, or it is supportive, again, we know whom we're going to share this and take help from and who not. So understanding your social setup is very important. Financial setup is important again, because a lot of times you need to have resources for yourself. Let's say you want to go to someone who is an expert, someone or you want to go for an activity to help yourself with, and if you're not financially capable of taking up that activity, let's say travel helps you and you want to go to a certain place, you wish to go to a certain place, and you're financially probably not capable of doing that at that particular time, this will end up you in a disappointment, right? So understanding your financial setup is also very important. If you have it, it'll enable you, it'll help you, it'll add to your resilience process, right? Nature around you is very important. I just spoke, we go to good places, we go to beaches and mountains, we go for long drives, we go for road trips, we go for camping and trekking and stuff. Why do we do that? It is because it helps build our positive energy. It changes, it distracts us in a very, very, very positive way. So this is why we need to know. If at all we are staying in a surrounding where there's a lot of pollution, where there is, no trees, if there's a lot of chaos, if the city is surrounded by vehicles, even if you want to rest, even if you want to calm down, probably you might not, there'll be a lot of distraction. That is why you need to understand how is the surrounding, and of course the energy around. If at all you are someone who believes in the concept of energy, you would understand what I'm trying to say. The energy matters a lot. Keep yourself surrounded by positive people, people who talk positive, people who practice empathy, people who practice kindness, people who don't judge, people who don't question you unnecessarily, people who are ready to help you even by staying away. So you need to surround yourself with such people, because people are the biggest source of energy. A lot of times people get pets because pets have amazing energy. A lot of time you surround yourself with kids, kids around you are again one beautiful, very positive source of good energy, because they are the most innocent creatures you can find around. So surround yourself with small kids, talk to them, play with them. This will definitely help you come out of the situation that you have been, and practice resilience. So now this is what I had for you today. Very, very, very short. That what I really wanted to discuss, because practicing resilience is something that doesn't come to you in one day, doesn't happen overnight. It is a practice, and this is what exactly you need to understand. A practice would require elements and a lot of stakeholders. I spoke about two of us, me and my surrounding, right? We need to know about ourselves before we start engaging ourselves in an activity. And this should be very passively done. Can be done actively also if you want to, because a lot of times, so it works differently for different people. It's very subjective. Sometimes people are very serious and they are planned and they know, okay, I want to do this step by step. And some people are like, okay, I just want to start. Now this is the idea, you just need to start and go about it. The moment you start, you will definitely find your way. Even the failures are going to teach you something. Okay. And no matter whatever happens, always remember that this shall pass too, and everything changes at its right time. So nothing remains constant. If you are going through an issue, if you're going through a problem, it definitely will change. It definitely will transform. You just need to take small steps, one day at a time, one step at a time, one moment at a time. And do not forget, you're special, you're precious, you are super precious. So take care of yourself, and lots and lots and lots of love and good vibes to all of you, whoever is watching this video, this series. Thank you so much for joining in and trying to understand the concept of resilience, because it's something we would be needing all our lives, for big small issues. So thank you. That was all for me.
Thank you so much. You know,
Kaushik, you're not audible.
Still no, I'm not audible. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time and for your beautiful speech, where you can, where anyone can actually follow the instruction and follow the specific way where they can build their awareness or build their life as well. In
Thank
your
you.
presentation, actually, I focus few words, but actually, in during the presentation time, I have lots of tasks to do in the backstage. You saw that already. But after that, I just manage myself to hear something from you. So that is what I already said, which is very important for every person. Thank you again, ma'am. Thank you so much. See
Thank
you
you.
see you in our later part Q&A.
Sure, sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, dear
Thank you.
participants, now we will move for our next part, that is quiz. Dear participants, as you know that the quiz code is always the same right now. IGP quiz, which is code. So join with this code. Join with this code. We are waiting for you in the quiz competition. We will wait only for 4 minutes. After that, we will directly start our quiz competition. Right now, we have 90 participants in quiz competition. We start our quiz competition within few minutes. Congratulations, top 10 for quiz competition winners. I think this is the end. I was expecting a question. Ma'am, it's only quiz part. After that, now we'll move for question and answer part. Dear participants, congratulations, quiz competition winners top 10. We have all of your names which you entered during joining. We'll pick and prepare certificates and we'll post them on our official Facebook page and group within 15 minutes. So in between time, now we'll move for our next part, which is Q&A. Dear participants, if you have any kinds of question, please note down on the comment box below, and please definitely address speaker name, because we have three speaker today, so must address speaker name. Welcome back again, Ma'am Reshmi Shah and Ma'am Dr. Randy. Now
Thank
we
you.
are in Q&A part, so I will pin some question on your screen and you have to just answer the questions.
Okay.
Dear participants, do you have any kinds of question to our speakers for tonight? They explain well, so I think few question we have. Job well done, dear speakers. First question to Ma'am Dr. Brandy.
I think it's for they said Brandy, but I think they meant me. It's okay.
No,
Um,
I pronounced your name third time, and
that's
all
okay.
the times it was wrong.
I go by many names. Just just be kind to me. That's all I ask. Okay. Well, I'm a teacher, and of course, avoiding negative people in the same workplace. I just try to treat people the way I want to be treated, and if I do that, normally they respond in that way. I try to not get angry with them. Understand if they're having an issue, maybe they're having a bad day, something I don't know and don't recognize. So I just say, "Are you okay today?" And they say, "Yes, I'm fine." I let it go, but I just avoid confrontation because confrontation only leads to more problems. So whatever it is, I just let them have time out to chill out. If they're going to be negative with me or they're going to be, confrontation with me, I just kind of back away and say, I hope you have a good day. If I'm here, if you need to talk, I think we just need to be there for people. And sometimes, if we're there for them and we show a positive attitude, it rubs off on them. So that's my suggestion. Just remain positive and just kind of brush off the negativity and hope that they solve whatever problem they have that day and come back to being positive with you.
What answer, ma'am? Now this question is for Ma'am Reshmi. Ma'am, we can hear you. You are mute. Unmute yourself, ma'am.
Yes. Hello, Ma'am Gulshan. Hello. And your question is, how does resilience work in teaching perspective where we have young learners? My question. Okay, so I would want to understand, this is from the learner's perspective or from the mentor's perspective. I'll give you both the answers, right? So if you are a mentor and you want to practice resilience, you need to see it from the perspective of a mentor. You need to understand that learners come with different expectations. A lot of times we get confused, and we kind of put ourselves into a lot of pressure because of the multiple expectations that we have from all the learners. You need to understand, like we conducted this session, we had different views from everyone who's watching us, but what we can do is we can just perform our best, we can give our best to this session, and we can try helping people in the best way possible. That's what we can do as mentors. Now this is where we, as mentors, can practice resilience. And if at all we are getting any response which we are not liking, or let's say we have had a bad experience, we need to understand who we are and what our primary aim and vision is. If at all we are sure of what we want to do and where we are taking this ahead, I'm very sure keeping off all the negativity or anything, or a disappointment from the learner will not actually impact us to that great deal. So pointing it out, focus on yourself, focus on what you want to achieve, your vision, and know yourself. That's why you're focused on self awareness. It is very important. When we know ourselves, it becomes very difficult for anyone to criticize us and question us, right? And you will always attract good people, positive people. Now let's say when we talk about the learners, if learners are going through some issues, if they are going through some problems, if they are mentees, kids, young people, and we need to tell them that first, as peers, they need to be kind to each other. They should not judge each other. Competition is good, but it should be a healthy competition. Otherwise, they might get into problems. Also, they need to self assess themselves. Everyone comes with their own positive sides, their own positive skills. So this is how learners will not get bad experiences, wrong experiences. And when we talk about young learners, there are a lot of relationship, emotional issues also they go through because of their education or family or personal, problems. So I think this is how they can analyze, and they can stay away from such problems, and they can actually practice resilience. I hope I answered you well. Thank you.
I think, ma'am, anyone can answer it.
Do I have these Dr.
Okay,
Andy?
that's okay with you. Okay, because I'm still a teacher. I taught 37 years in public schools in West Virginia and Georgia. And then I went to Egypt to teach English as a second language during the revolution, by the way. Lived 3 blocks from Tahrir Square and survived. Had become an Egyptian woman. Resilience there too. But as an educator, we are constantly connected with the parents of our pupils, of course. How do I help these parents to strengthen their being resilient? Yeah, you need to tell the parents that you need to be there for your child. You don't want to do everything for them. You need to make them responsible. You need to teach them how to do things for themselves. One of the things I think is bad in our society today is, and I say this with love, is our kids are spoiled. I mean, they're so used to having everybody do things for them that now they don't really know how to survive on their own, because I see it all the time. So we have to back off a little bit and say, hey, this is your problem. I'm here to deal with it, but I want you to try to find some ways. I want you to brainstorm. I want you to deal with this. Now, if it's things like bullying at school, then of course parents have to interact with that, But if it's things like, okay, how are you going to get your homework done? We need to have them make a schedule, do things that they can do in their lives, things that are simple. And if we start with simple tasks and teach them how to be resilient with those, then we can work on the bigger task. And when they're adults, when they leave the home, they can actually take care of themselves, hopefully. This is what I do. I teach my students life skills. And the parents also need to follow up on these life skills.
Can I add something here just to
Yeah,
complete
ma'am. Sure,
the
sure,
circle here? Yeah. So I think, thank you, Dr. Andy. That was actually an amazing insight. There's one thing again, just have to redefine, be friends with your kids.
Yes.
And when we talk about being friends, it's not just being goody, happy all the time there for your friends, but also, okay, take care of yourself. I understand you, I have your back kind of friends, you know. So giving them the space that is required sometimes is also required as a skill as they grow up. So I think yes, be friends, know about them, keep an understanding of their friends, their surroundings, their feelings. Communication is good, is a good thing that must happen. Talk, and not talk all the I want to talk. No, there are different ways of talking, you know. Just pick up some random topic and start talking, and you know, then try to get involved yourself in, in something that you want to know. This will definitely help.
Yes.
Thank you.
Communication is key. You're right, Rajni. You have to, and your child has to feel that they're comfortable enough to come to you with a problem that they're dealing with and get advice. But again, you still need to teach them, how would you resolve this? What do you think you need to do? Talk out with them and then talk it with them. That's very important. I agree. We're on the same page.
Yes, yes. And stop comparing. I think a lot of times, you know, we compare our kids with other kids. We need to understand that could be damaging at times, because every kid has their own speciality, you know. Every kid is unique and special in their own way. Try to learn more about their kids and stop fixing kids. You know, a lot of times we have a concept of fixing kids. No,
Yes,
let them
totally.
be. If there is a problem, fine, there's a solution. But not every kid needs a fixing. So don't do that. Okay. Yeah.
Totally agree.
Thank you. We have another question here to Rashmi ma'am. How resilience should be cultivated in children? Very simple, and I think resilience must be cultivated from an early childhood. You know, very simple things when they have a fight in the school, or maybe someone bullied them, as Dr. Randy said. You know, someone bullied them, or they did not score well in their academics. You know, they should be taught that okay, fine, whatever has happened, if it was your, you know, an introspection has to be there. If it is your mistake, your limitation, work on it. If it wasn't your mistake, if it is someone else's mistake and it is dangerous, it should be solved, spoken to, discussed with parents or their parents, you know, or anyone, whoever the stakeholder is. If it is a problem that is not under your control, let's say someone is having an examination tomorrow and it started raining heavily and you did not make it to the examination, and the kid is really, really, really sad. That is the moment when you need to work on the resilience, on the factor that it's okay, it was not in your control, you tried your best, you gave your best, now what you need to do is prepare for the next time, you know. So positively encouraging them for better is something. This is how we can teach them about resilience. I would say it will help them come out of the problem
Yes.
every single time. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, this is for me. What do you think of students' depressions nowadays, especially when they are facing a pandemic? Oh, this is so difficult. I'm not in the classroom now, but I have many teacher friends who are, and it's a major problem. I think we just have to, I mean, you can't avoid the pandemic. They need to be aware of it. You need to talk about it. They need to know it's dangerous. We need to teach them how to protect themselves from it. But then when they're in the educational system, we need to make the situation as positive as we can. When they're in the classroom, when they're under our control, we need to bring positivity in the classroom, make something fun, get their minds off the pandemic for at least a little while, and make learning fun. And that's what I always do. I used to make fun games. I taught high school kids, and it's easier to make it for the little kids, but you can still make fun games for the older students and have them interact with each other, have them talk about their situations. You just have to get them involved in other activities. And even if that activity is talking about the pandemic, make it a positive thing. How can we protect ourselves? How can you protect your family? What can we do to make it better in this world? There's always ways you can do that. So I try to encourage them not talk about it, but also once you've talked about it, get away from it and give them something fun to do, because many of them have missed graduation services. They're missing their school proms in the United States. They're missing all these fun activities that they should be doing as kids. So we have to create something else for them, some virtual fun for them. And that's what I try to do. You want to take this one, Rajni? I have my own views on this because I hate violent games.
No problem. So first of all, thank you, Ronaldo, for asking that question, because that's a very important, and I'm glad someone is seeing it from that perspective. Violent games. First of all, this is where I believe the parents or any elders, seniors, be it siblings or someone, you have to intervene. Because everything impacts our brain, everything impacts our psychology and our upbringing in some or the other way. I just discussed about environment around us. So these games, the activities that we do play, that impacts our psychology to a great deal, right? So now if I am seeing violence all the time, there is a negativity that I am attracting all the time. The way I see, my perspective is changing into hitting someone, killing someone, or doing something, or fighting, or this and that. Now my subconscious brain is somewhere catching this, right? The next step is when I come to a real life situation, and when I see something around this, my mind tells me that I am supposed to act in this way. Automatically, subconsciously, I might not be a person who slaps, but because I have slapped someone so many times on an online game or a violent game, my body responds voluntarily by raising my hand or hitting someone. Now, when I do this, there's a third step. If I accidentally do this, I will start feeling guilty. Why? Because I'm not that kind of a person. I don't believe in hitting. My belief system is completely different. Now, this is where resilience will start, and then it has we have to go back to the point where we picked up this activity. So I think why to reach there when we have the solution beforehand itself. Even if you're playing, it should be just for fun if you are, and if it is becoming a habit, if it's becoming a life activity, a life event for every day, I think this is where we need to understand. Habits do change us. Yes, Dr. Andy, please.
Okay. Well, I just was thinking of an example. I have an Egyptian family that live with me, and their little girl is 6 years old, and she's named Little Randy in my honor. So I'm grandma number 3. I love her. But the example of how I hate these games. She was on this. I won't tell you the name of the game, but it was one where they kill each other. It's a children's game, but they're killing each other. And she said, "I just killed 3 people." She's 6 years old. And I'm going, Randy. No, we don't kill anybody. She goes, it's just a game. I said, no, but you were really excited about killing those people. She goes, it's just a game. I said, no. So I told her mother immediately that game was history. It was deleted. I'm thinking she's 6 years old. She's the kindest, sweetest little girl, totally gifted. But when she said that, and she had this look on her face that it just
Totally.
scared me, I said, no, Randy, we don't kill people, even in games. She goes, okay, Grandma, I'm sorry. So that was just an example of how, as a teacher, I mean, I know people play these games and they love them, but not for
Yes,
me. I'm totally 100% opposed to them in any form. All they do is teach hatred and violence, and I'm not an advocate for
Especially,
those.
yeah, and especially for kids, when their understanding is developing. If an adult who has the understanding of what is to apply and what is not to apply, I think it's still doable, still, for fun. But for kids who don't have an understanding of what's right or wrong as per social standards, as per criminal and legal standards, I think no, this is not perfect.
Yeah. Well, even for the
exactly.
older ones, I see still bad effects from kids at school when I used to teach. I think we ought to tone it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. That's just my personal preference. Did you want to say something, Beatrice?
Yes, what I just want to chip in is that, what you see also affects how you behave. So if children allow or exposed to violent games, you see it in their face. If they watch a violent games, when they finish watching it, within 1 hour, their reaction may become will be violent. So I discovered that in the one of a child that came to for holiday in our home, he's not used to such a thing before. But I saw that after watching such, he's ready to fight. He wants to put practice that seen in face. And when I got to know about that, I just have to stop it for her during the time he was watching. So practice what it emotionally it has violence is out of
I think there's a question for me, and there is some disturbance also. Yeah.
Yes, proceed and proceed.
Yeah. Okay. So the question for me is how to remain positive always. Okay, okay. Now we need to first of all understand what being positive is. A lot of times, being positive is misunderstood because we started talking about it. Positivity is a perspective. For me, I believe positivity is a perspective that I wish to see the positive side of something. It could be a very horrible thing. Let's say anything. It rained today heavily, okay, and I have something very very important to do. Now I have two options to look the same situation in two different ways. First, of course, I'll be sad because it rained and I could not perform whatever I committed. Of course, there's a list of disappointments after that, right? Now, when I know this thing is not under my control, what am I supposed to do? Am I going to sit, grieve, and spoil the rest of the day? Or I'm going to say, okay, fine, whatever happened, let me just enjoy the rain, make myself some good food, a good coffee, put on some music, and at least whatever time or whatever situation that I have, I must enjoy. Now, this is the difference between the perspective that I have. Situation is not positive at all, right? Because it's raining and I lost work, I could not commit to, and there could be repercussions, right? So situation is negative, negative, negative. But ultimately, it's my life, it's the energy that I'm bringing for myself, it's the moment that I'm creating. So you need to be a little selfish here. I need to define being selfish means thinking about yourself. I'm not saying hurt anyone else and then make yourself happy, but at least care for yourself. And this is how a positive perspective will help you be positive all the time. Try to find the best, try to find the positive out of every situation, and you'll feel positive. And I think this habit will, bring magic in your life. Trust me.
Yes, exactly. Being positive in every situation you find yourself, it builds strength in you, and that is the resilience and the
Exactly.
ability to see good things happening to you. But a negative-minded person will develop heart attack, will be unhealthy. So it's better for us to stay positive and move on with our life. Life was going faster than we ever think. Positive-minded, happy people, care for themselves, and they enjoy their significant.
Right. And Purnam, I should also add to this, it's a mindset, that you develop. It doesn't happen overnight. I'll tell this, I'll repeat this, these things
Yeah,
doesn't happen overnight. Only to a few lucky people or people who know themselves very well. Otherwise, most of the time, it takes time, So practice every day. You'll find failures also. You will see failing every day, but okay, keep going. I have another question here, which is from Bipasa. To Ashram, how to resilience myself with this pandemic as a nursing student? Yes, yes, yes. First of all, Bipasa, my heartfelt respect and gratitude to you because if you are from a nursing background, you have been the one of the frontliners who have been seeing so many situations and cases and an emotional turmoil on daily basis, and you have been dealing with this. So my heartfelt respect to you and everyone like you. Okay, now I understand when you come across so many emotional uh, you know emotional waves and emotional situations that you come across. There are people who are trying to get help. There are people who are uh, not getting what they want, the resources, people losing their lives, their family members. Yes, it is very difficult, right? But again, all I would want to tell you here is focus on yourself because you have a responsibility on your shoulders, right? You have to strengthen yourself for two reasons. First of all, is your professional reason that if at all you also start getting emotional, you will not be able to perform well professionally. Also, if at all you let yourself affect with all the situation happening around, it will personally deteriorate you emotionally, and your subconscious brain will start catching everything, and it will, it might come across in a different situation. So try not to. Keep your professional and personal emotions different. Be good, be empathetic, be kind, be a good human being that you are. But it's your profession. You have to give your best. Stronger you are, you will be able to perform more. So you have to keep yourself reminding that you have to be strong. You don't have to feel and because we are humans, we have emotions. There would be moments when you will feel weak. There will be moments when you will feel emotional. Vent those emotions out. Discuss these emotions with people. You go for an expert, you have a friend, you have anyone around, you have your colleagues. Go and talk to them. Vent it out. Solve those impressions that you have of your cases. And this is how you can start every day with a positive mindset. Because remember, people are looking up to you. People are expecting from you. People want you to do
Yes.
something.
I'd
Yes.
like to also add
There.
eating well and sleeping well. You got to keep yourself physically well too, as well as emotionally.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, thank you, ladies, for taking all those questions from our live audience. And I owe you an apology, but I think you've lost me for a couple of minutes due to bad connection. But finally, I'm back for good. So I think that's all what we have for the question and answer portion. All right. And then on behalf of the Institute of Global Professionals, we would like to extend our heartfelt thanks and appreciation for taking time off of your busy schedule and join us for tonight's session. All right. And we hope to have you again in our next series. Can we expect that from you, ladies?
Definitely. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
And
It's a pleasure.
God bless everybody and stay safe.
thank you.
Yes. All right. So we have some special announcement here. All right. As I was seeing on the screen. Okay. For the first time, it's going to happen in IGP. We're going to launch a virtual award ceremony program. Okay. So that's it. Part of the new program that is going to be launched by the IGP is that we're going to have a virtual award ceremony. All right. And well, that made us differ with other organization. All right. And then from August 8, 2021, you will get a class material in every webinar description box on our website. All right. So I think we are referring to the materials. Okay, the slide materials that's being used by our speakers. Okay, starting August 8, you will have your own copy. All right. So I think the best way to do this is you have to give us your email address so that we can send you out, forward to your email, the copy of the slide of the presentation of our speakers. All right. So what you're seeing on the screen is the oh my, as part of the celebration of the IGP on its 1 year of existence. All right. IGP, as a way of thanking our live audience, our supportive live attendees, IGP is now offering a 1 year international diploma program certificate for free. All right. So there is the process that you have to do actually. What we mean by here for this diploma is that you don't need to study any module. Okay, you don't need to review any lesson. All right. But there is a certain procedure that you have to do for you to get yourselves avail of the 1 year international diploma program certificate for free, courtesy of the Institute of Global Professional. This is our way of thanking you guys for your continued support and for keeping us a company, for keeping us a company daily. All right. And for that reason, IGP is now offering you a one-year international diploma program certificate for free. And then what you're seeing now on the screen is the template of the certificate that you'll be receiving once you avail yourself on this particular diploma program. All right. So there is the instruction, I guess. And then, okay. All right. So another happy announcement from IGP on the occasion of the anniversary of IGP, and this is for all of our participants, you guys, our live audience. Okay, for an international diploma certificate, every government has some rules. Okay, like you have to must earn 250 hours. All right. So like here in the Philippines, when you get to apply for a certain office, and then the Civil Service Commission is requiring you a number of hours, okay, number of hours of training, for instance, and number of hours of related experience, and then the training for you to get the job. All right, so this is good for you. Okay, this is really intended for you guys. That's why we decided to collect our certificates from you, which you can ensure that you are capable for international diploma certificate. We know that our programs now has 3 hours, but for a judgment, we will calculate our program in average 2 hours. All right, 2 hours, or a total of 260 hours. That means you are auto applicable for IGP international diploma certificates. All right, so that's the rule. Okay, this is good for our employees, okay, whether it be teacher or aspiring for an administrative position. Okay, all the certificates links are now available on our Facebook pin post or top post. So all you have to do, guys, is you simply look for the pin post down in the comment section below in our Facebook page, and then you will see the link for you to download those certificates starting from August 15 until August 10 of 2021. Starting from August 15, 2020 until August 10, 2021. Okay, so once you link that, or once you click that link, and then you'll be landed to a page where you can download all those certificates, again starting from August 15, 2020 until August 10, 2021. So all you have to do is you simply download, collect all those certificates, okay, starting from August 15 until August 10, 2021, and then you download all those certificates. You keep on collecting all those certificates, and then you submit. All right, we will give you a link to where you can submit all those certificates, okay, for us to know that you really follow the instruction. All right, anybody can avail of this opportunity that is offering by the IGP. Okay, you don't need to do extra anything. I mean, as I was saying earlier, this is a kind of program that's for free. Okay, this is a kind of diploma wherein you don't need to browse anything, you don't need to read books, you don't need to review modules. All you have to do is follow that simple instruction that's being provided by the IGP. All right, as I was explaining earlier, okay, so this is what you are going to do, guys. Okay, the first thing you need to do is you have to collect all the certificates from our website starting from August 15, 2020 until August 10, 2021. All right, and then submit all those certificates into a given link. Okay, as I was saying earlier, we will be providing you a link down in the comment section below. Okay, and then you have to provide your full name, your profession, okay, your designation, and of course the country, okay, that you are representing. And then the last date of submission is going to be on August 2020. Okay, be mindful of the deadline for submission of the certificates. That's gonna be on August. Yes. So what you are now seeing on the screen is the link. Okay, the submission link. This is exactly the link where you will have to submit those certificates that IGP is requiring you for you to get yourselves availed of our international diploma certificate. All right, you can also see on the screen the QR code, so you can also scan that one, okay, for fast and easy access. All right, so we already have, what is this, 110,000 plus messages in last 2 days. Oh, we're so glad to know that you're still there, guys. Okay, supporting us by keep on giving us messages, by sharing your thoughts. Okay, we are now receiving 110 or 11,000. Yes, it's 11,000 plus messages from our live attendees. It might be messages clarifying on this particular offering by the IGP. All right, so again, all right, yes, it's a way of reciprocating the favor for your continued support. All right, so yes, as I was saying earlier, this is a way of reciprocating the favor from IGP because of your continued support that made us actually continue this kind of intervention. All right, so for that reason, IGP is now offering you so many things, okay, as a way of reciprocating the favor. Okay, never stop learning, because IGP encourages you to never stop learning, and also IGP is encouraging you, okay, to let others also learn. Okay, so you have to keep on inviting others for them also to learn and be part of our growing international community. All right, never stop learning and keep on encouraging also the others to learn. By the help of Almighty God, if you feel happy, please don't stop yourself to help others. Okay, don't stop extending assistance to others. Okay, do not stop helping others out. Okay, that's a profound statement from the Institute of Global Professional, and that is part of our core values. The reason behind why we are doing this for free is we want to keep on educating others. We want to make sure that everybody never stop from learning, and then we also encourage others to help others learn in their own small ways, because that's one of the core values that IGP is actually practicing. All right, don't stop learning, encourage also others to learn. All right, again, my apology, but you've lost me for several minutes due to poor connection I'm having here. Okay, whatever you want to learn, no issues, but make sure your availability for learning. Okay, what we ask from you is your learn, the availability of your time, because IGP is so willing to provide any learning materials, okay, trainings whatsoever, just for you to get learn. Okay, you can learn anytime at any place, but never stop learning. Okay, that's exactly what we are doing. We are providing a learning platforms for anybody to learn anytime and anywhere. Okay, just get in touch with us. All right, because for sure, definitely you will learn a lot from us, and we hope that you enjoy learning as much as we enjoy sharing it with you guys. All right, if you have opportunity to encourage others to learn, do it and make yourself proud. Okay, that's the best thing you can do. Be generous. All right, share your knowledge. Let other, okay, learn also in their own way. And if you have enough food, enough money, and enough freedom, enough time, that means you're lucky. All right, that's the blessings that we actually want to be thankful to God for giving us enough food, for giving us enough money, enough freedom, and enough time. That means we're so lucky enough. If we have all those freedom that we've mentioned earlier, and then be thankful, be grateful because you're so lucky enough. Not all persons or individual in the whole world are given an opportunity like that. Okay, not everyone has given a chance like that. So if you have those things, then be thankful. Now make a culture to do something for those who are needy. All right, so we encourage you to do something for those who are needy. All right, you try to extend yourself in your community. You try to look for others who are needy, and then whenever possible do something to help them out. Okay, if you have the food, if you have the money, if you have the extra freedom and time, of course time is the best gift that we can give to our family and to the community as a whole. All right, don't need to do a lot. You don't need to do a lot, just do something, even in your own small ways. All right, we actually we don't ask you to do something that's bigger. What we're asking you is to do something that's even in your small ways. Okay, what is important is that your availability, the availability of your time, okay, to reach out to others, especially in the community that you are belong. Okay, just look around, look for those people who are in needy, and whenever possible open your heart and reach out to them and do something, of course without being showing off. All right, just be sincere. If you plan to reach out to the needy people, okay, the first thing you need to do is check your intention. Make sure that you do this not out of being showy. All right, you have to do this because you have this sincere intention of helping other people. Okay, not to show to the whole world that you are kind enough. You are doing this because you are kind enough, because you have the money. Okay, then that's it. I mean, you have to do this. You have to do this kind of job without having showy. All right, so you have to check your attention. IGP already did a lot of charity. If you want to do with IGP, you are most welcome. Okay, we are also encouraging others to be part of us if you're actually the kind of person who is philanthropist and keep on giving a charity to the needy people. Okay, so we can actually work together. If you wish, just simply make a connection, establish a connection with us, and we are very happy to welcome you if you are the kind of person. Okay, welcome to the world of humanity. Okay, the keyword here is we have to be human, especially at this time that we are experiencing trying times brought about by the pandemic, where everyone is experiencing loss of jobs and everything. Okay, what we want you is become a patron, become among those contributors. It's an open charity. Okay, let's do it together. Let's together do something for our society. Okay, let's work hand in hand. Okay, we have this commonality. If you have this love for the humanity, okay, if we have this concern towards the needy people, okay, just simply let us know. All right, so that we can work together in helping those people out, those needy people in our community. Okay, IGP anniversary is going to be this coming August 15, by the way. Okay, so for that reason, okay, we started our first program on August 15 to 2020. So by coming August 15, 2021, it's going to be the first year anniversary celebration of the Institute of Global Professionals. All right. So again, happy anniversary. Let's continue doing this work and keep on reaching out to those people all over the world, especially to those people who has passion for learning, for those people who actually are craving for learning. Unfortunately, they cannot do it on account of so many factors like financial constraint. Well, IGP, that's the very reason behind why IGP is now providing you webinar for free. Okay, because we want to make sure that everybody can have access to education and learning. All right. Okay, so what we are now seeing on the screen is the certification process. Okay, let me share you the step-by-step procedures for you guys on how you could possibly download and get your certificate online. Okay, so be mindful of the date and the name of the webinar that we're having right now. It's developing resilience. All right, so yes, what you are seeing now on the screen is the certification link. All right, that's the link that you have to click. Okay, so once you click that one, and then you'll be redirected to the page, most probably on our website, where you can download your e-certificate for free. Certification link now available in comment box. Okay, so all you have to do is you have to keep on finding that one down in the comment section below. Okay, certification link will be available always in this program post. All right, so again, keep on looking for that link down below, okay, for you to download your certificate. There are two ways actually in which you can claim your certificate. Okay, the first one is we have the direct link. That's exactly what I'm referring to in the comment section down below. If you are actually joining us in Facebook page, okay, you can actually find the direct link. Okay, and then you simply click that one, and then you'll be redirected to that page where you can download your certificate. And if you are unable to click that one, or if it doesn't work out, okay, please go directly to our website. That's www.eduigp.com, okay, for all the information and everything that you need. Okay, so you simply find tonight's or today's title of the webinar, that's developing resilience. Okay, now what you are now seeing on the screen is the screenshot of our website. Okay, I wonder if you could see the arrow link, the two arrow link pointing to the navigation bar where it says enroll now. Okay, for those who are new tonight, or for those who have just joining in, the first thing you need to do is have yourself registered. All right, you have to register your own account using your own email address and your password, and after that, okay, enroll yourself. Okay, log in. Okay, so after log in, and then you can now enroll yourself in a specific program or webinar that you wish to avail. Okay, that's the first thing you need to do. If you don't have any account yet, please have yourself registered. After registering your account, and then log in, and then once you log in, okay, that way you can actually download now your e-certificate. Okay, so again, if you're new, first thing first, you have to create your account. Okay, so if you already have an account, then log in directly. So after that, okay, find the title of the seminar that you have just attended. Okay, like like the webinar that we're having right now, it's developing resilience. Go find that one, and after finding that one, okay, you will see the link, okay. But of course, do not forget, all right, to make use of our code for tonight. All right, you have to use this code for you to download your e-certificate online. Our code for tonight is IGP 4444. That's 4 fours. All right, I repeat, that's IGP 444 and 4. Okay, that's quadruplet 4. Okay, this is exactly the code that you have to enter in that window that is asking you to enter the certificate code. All right, once you type in that code, and then automatically you can now download your e-certificate. That's free of charge. All right, courtesy of the Institute of Global Professionals. All right, without code, definitely you can hardly download your e-certificates. Okay, we also like to remind everyone that the quiz code that we used earlier and the certificate code that we are now talking about are not the same. Okay, they're totally different. The quiz code and the certificate code are not the same. Okay, be mindful of that. Okay, so again, we are showing you the screenshot of our website. Okay, as you can see, there is the navigation bar there. It says get your certificate. That's exactly the navigation that you have to click. Okay, once you entered that code, that's IGP 444 and 4, you simply type in that one, or copy and paste that one, and then after that you start clicking get your certificate, and then automatically, okay, you can now download your e-certificate in a PDF or Adobe Reader PDF file format. Okay, our free international webinar certificate is, of course, it's auto downloadable in PDF file format. Okay, so you also have to check your device if it's compatible. Okay, because I think others might encountering a problem in downloading their certificate on account of the compatibility of the device that they are using. Okay, so there are other people who are complaining that when they manage to download their certificate, it looks like the certificate is uncompleted. Okay, and that might be due to the problem on compatibility of your own device. Okay, the device that you're using. So kindly please check that one. Okay, there is some other time that you have to update your device. All right, so here we go with the template. Okay, the exact template of the certificate that you'll be receiving. Okay, once you manage to download your e-certificate. All right, so we are now on step 6. Your certificate is ready. Okay, as you can see at the bottom part of the certificate, there is a verified certificate. So there is somewhat like a code. Okay, somewhere at the bottom of your certificate. Okay, and of course, when we're having a live webinar program, you can join either on our Facebook page or on our Facebook group or on our YouTube channel. Okay, and also our website. And if anyone missed any program due to some unavoidable issues, still you can attend previous webinar with verified certificate. Meaning to say you can still download your e-certificate despite of having despite of having not attended on that particular webinar. All right, make sure that you have the code. You can still download your e-certificate. And if you missed some part of our live webinar, all you have to do is you simply go to our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel, and you can see a bunch of our recorded webinar videos for you to for you to replay in case you missed anything that's you think it's important to you. Okay, so if you're having a problem in downloading your certificates, okay, all you have to do is you simply contact us. Do not hesitate to contact us, and we would be happy to answer all your questions and queries regarding your concern in downloading your e-certificate. Okay, if now our website isn't working, you know what guys, there is some other times that our website is down because of huge number of internet traffics. Okay, so there might be a tendency that you can hardly download your e-certificate tonight, okay, because of that reason. But don't worry, don't panic. All right, you can still have it downloaded. As I was saying in my introductory part, you can still download it probably tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Okay, make sure that you have this code, okay, to claim your certificates. Our core team members are always ready in the comment section below to support you and to answer all your questions regarding your e-certificate process. Okay, we have our staff, Janet Escablao and Kelvin Linatok. They are always there to monitor, okay, the comment section below. They are here to monitor all the comments that you are posting on the comment section below, and they are ready guys to answer all your questions that you might raise. Okay, so it's just simply type in your queries, and then our staff Janet Escablao and Kelvin Linato are there to assist you and to provide answers to your queries whenever possible. All right, so your Facebook feeds, yes, your Facebook feeds will now be filled with the series of upcoming webinars that IGP is actually preparing for you guys. Okay, we would like to invite you to be part of our webinar on creativity in teaching that's happening on August 12, 2021. All right, and joining us on that webinar is a speaker from the Philippines and someone from Uzbekistan. All right, more upcoming webinar, please. Okay, so again, that's on August 12, 2021. That's creativity in teaching. Okay, this is good for all of our teachers out there. Okay, teachers, educators, this is a webinar that's really good for you. Okay, so if you wish to be creative enough in delivering your lesson, so better yet attend and also be a part and witness as we bring you a webinar on leading change through uncertainty. And that will be on August 13, 2021, and we have 3 speakers. One is from the Philippines, the other one is from South Africa, and the third one is from the United States of America. Okay, so we have a wide range of great speakers from all over the world. And don't miss out our next webinar happening on August 14, 2021. It's all about social-emotional learning. Okay, 2 speakers all the way from the United States of America will be joining us on that particular date for the webinar on social emotional learning. All right. Okay, that's social emotional learning. Okay, this is also good for our teachers. Okay, everybody, like teachers, employees, okay, for them to have a deeper knowledge on the social emotional aspect or social emotional learning, especially this time of pandemic. Okay, this particular webinar is really good for you. Alright, so get ready for our webinar on August 16. That's transformational leadership. Transformational leadership. Alright. Joining us on that webinar is a speaker from the United States of America. Okay, we've got from the United Kingdom and from South Africa. Alright. This is so exciting seminar. It's all about transformational leadership. Okay, this is good for our for the head of office. All right, for those anyone out there who are holding a higher positions. All right, that's good for you. And see who's speaking out. See who's speaking at a webinar on August 16 on ethics in teaching. We've got two speakers all the way from the Philippines. All right. Okay. Again, that's August 16. Okay. That's our webinar on ethics in teaching. And two speakers all the way from the Philippines will be joining us on that particular date. All right. So we'd love to see you also on our webinar on August 17, 2021. That's Leading for Success. All right. Leading for Success. And we're joined by three speakers, okay, from South Africa, from United Kingdom, and from Ecuador. Right? Okay, that's Leading for Success. Okay. And also be present to witness, okay, on our webinar happening on August 18, 2021, okay, for the webinar Facts and Figures of Ancient Mathematical Techniques. All right. This is good for our teachers in mathematics. Those teachers who are handling mathematics, okay, this one is really for you. We invited the speakers from Oman and India. All right. I hope they are expert enough in this kind of field. And don't miss out our webinar on August 19, 2021. That's community engagement and empowerment. All right. This topic is so close to me. All right. And joining us on that particular webinar are speakers from Vietnam, from India, and from Nigeria. All right. Okay. I think this is applicable for our CSO leaders, for NGO head and CSO leaders. And also enjoy being part of our webinar on August 20 on the concepts and components of quantitative research. All right. And joining us on that particular date are two speakers all the way from the Philippines. All right. So again, that's August 20. It's all about concepts and components of quantitative research. Okay. Okay, get ready for our next webinar. That's August 21. It's all about achieving success through innovation. All right. And we invited speakers all the way from the United Arab Emirates, okay, from South Africa, and from Croatia. All right. So please save the date. That's August 21. All right. Learn the communications and leadership in the workplace on August 22, 2021. And joining us on that particular day, that's August 22, are two speakers, again, all the way from the Philippines. So again, that's August 22, 2021, Communications and Leadership. All right. And save the date on August 23, 2021 for our webinar on leadership and education. All right. And we'll be joined by a speaker all the way from South Africa, all right, from Switzerland, and from Croatia. All right. And turn in on August 24, 2021 for our webinar on intervention strategies for distance learning. All right. And joining us on that particular webinar are speakers, also three speakers all the way from the Philippines. Okay. I can see it by the flag. All right. And we also invite you to be part of our webinar happening on August 25, 2021 on social emotional teaching and learning management. All right. And joining us on that webinar is a speaker from Greece, from India, and from yes. All right. It's too tiny for me. All right. And then we'd also love to see you joining us on August 26 for the webinar on self-empowerment for young professionals. Wow. And we managed to invite again two speakers from the Philippines. All right. And also spend your day or night with us as we bring you a webinar on thriving for success. All right. Happening in August 27, 2021. And we have 4 speakers who will be joining us on that date. Okay. We've got somebody from South Africa, from India, from Nigeria, and from Singapore. 4 speakers in one topic, that's thriving for success. All right. Isn't that sound exciting? All right. And learn the significant and dynamic trends in education on August 28, right? Okay. And joining us on that webinar are 2 speakers from Thailand. All right, there you go. So again, please save the date. And also we invite you to be part of our webinar on principles of leading change, taking place on August 29, 2021. And we've got 3 speakers all the way from South Africa and 1 from United Kingdom who will be joining us on that specific date. Again, that's August 21 or 29 rather, for the webinar on principles of. All right, there you go. And don't miss out also our webinar on meeting the challenges of the new normal in school education. All right, that's gonna be on August 30, 2021. And joining us on that webinar are also 2 speakers from the Philippines. All right, there you go. and also be present to witness our webinar on Young Leaders Changing the World, happening in August 31. All right, and we'll be joined by speaker from South Africa, two speakers from South Africa, actually, one from United Kingdom and one from Vietnam. So there are 4 speakers who will be joining us on that particular webinar. All right. Okay, so again, we are reminding you of the code that you'll be using in claiming your certificate. Okay, as you can see it on the screen. All right, so that's all what we have for now. On behalf of the Institute of Global Professionals, again, we would like to express our hearty thanks and appreciation for your continued support that made IGP keep on continuing providing education for you guys. All right. So our live attendees, thank you so much for the patience, for paying attention to our speakers, and I hope that you learn a lot from our invited speakers, and we hope you enjoyed listening to our webinar, watching our webinar as much as we enjoyed sharing it with you guys. All right, so again, thank you for attending, and my name is Gafoor M. Panimbang, saying thank you for your active participation. God bless, and see you on our next series. God bless us all.